Hey everyone, this is Rachel and welcome to another scrapbooking process video. If you hang out until after the video is through, there are always detailed shots of my current layout. Let's get going! Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Product Placement, my series with Kelly O'Black. This month, Kelly and I will be focusing on wood veneer. I know, you're shocked, aren't you? All right, so Kelly and I are both going to be working with wood veneer. For today's layout, I'm working with some stuff from my stash. This is Pink Paisley, Cedar Lane, and then I have a slightly newer one. So Cedar Lane is like what? 2015, and then I picked up this one piece of paper called from Golden Days by Fancy Pants, basically because it's a wood veneer, but I thought the tonal qualities went quite well with the Cedar Lane items from my stash. So that is what I'm going to be working with. I do have one photo. This is from when my nephew was in a school play. I actually did not see the play. I was out of town on the weekend. He was performing it. He said it was fine. He didn't really have a big part or anything like that. So he was perfectly happy for me to miss it. All right, folks, I am going to get you guys put on fast forward. And before I do, I just want to say make sure you head on over to Kelly's channel to check out what she does with wood veneer. I will put a link in the description box below, so just click on over to see what she's doing. All right, folks, let's get going. All right, so I have a pretty good idea that I'm going to be using this wood grain paper for the background, but I'm just making sure I don't love another piece of paper more than that in order to use that for my background. I also do really very much like the chevron multicolor paper, but I know that's way to use as a full background, and so I'm just going to use it as a large piece of pattern paper on my layout, but not necessarily the background. So I'm just seeing what color combinations I like, and I was thinking about using this feather paper because it's another multicolor, but I decide instead I would rather use that blue one um, on my layout rather than the feathered one, because I didn't want to do another layer, and I find if you try to do multicolor on top of multicolor, it just looks off. Tone on tone, like this yellow plus sign on top of the blue is fine, but if I try to just, and this is obviously a personal opinion, it's not like a rule of art, but for me, if I try to do one thing that's multicolor on top of something else that's multicolor, and here in this particular layout, I'm doing large chunks of the paper rather than thin layers. It's too much for my eye. So I've got this going on right now, and I don't love it. But I decide what I really want to do is try laying out these wood veneer pieces. Now, these are very, very thin wood veneer pieces. They originally came in a Studio Calico kit I bought on clearance probably in 2014. I went ahead and inked everything up in Gather Twigs, and now I need to fix my ATG because it's going all wonky. And it's completely my fault. It's not the ATG's fault. I lost a piece that keeps it locked in, so now it just pops out every once in a while. Back to the wood veneer. So I bought these on clearance when they had a clearance. Their kits were on clearance. So they're so old. It came as part of a kit. I could not tell you what kit it is, but we're probably talking 2013, 2014, the provenance for these particular wood veneers. As I said, they're very thin. So my idea is to use them in large chunks so they give a heavy presence to this layout. So you can definitely see there is wood veneer on this page. So on the right hand side of the photo, I've got them lined up there. I'm debating putting it over on the left-hand side as well. So I start placing some pieces, but I don't necessarily love the way it's looking right now, so I take it off. I am going to end up adding it in a different perspective, just not like that. So I like the way things are going right now, so I'm going to start to use my art glitter clear glue to glue them all down, and then I use my tiny attacher just to put a little weight on them, giving them a chance to dry. But I cut ahead because I put them in exactly the same place they were before I started gluing them down. And I decided what I wasn't happy with was the way the papers looked at the bottom. So, as is my wont these days, I went ahead and tore the bottom of the papers, and I like that so much better. Everything was looking super angular, and just that one side being torn just gives it a nice look. So now I've got the wood veneer drying. I'm happy with the way my papers look. So I'm gonna pull out these larger glitter thickers for my title. I'm going to spell out the word roll call, but I'm going to spell the word roll as in a role in a show as opposed to the actual word roll call. Um, in this play, my nephew was playing Rumpelstiltskin, but Rumpelstiltskin in the play played several different characters. Like he was pretending to be other people. So that's why you can't tell on the video probably, but he's wearing a stethoscope and he's carrying something else that was indicative of his other thing, and he's wearing a crown because he was pretending to be a king or a prince or something like that at some point. So, that's why I went with that. I then took those triangular pieces of wood veneer, and those actually I got just recently, and it's going to drive me crazy because I cannot remember where they're from, but those are new to my scrapbook stash, whilst the other wood veneer is quite old. All right, so I am putting these back and I'm deciding it, and this is what was annoying me. I did not have enough triangles to make another straight line. I just had it to where it could be um, 5 pieces. So in the end, I actually ended up liking the way it was looking. So I'm just adding my ATG for some weight while it dries, and then I'm going ahead and gluing down those triangular pieces. And it's still bugging me that I cannot remember where those came from. So while those are drying, I decide I do want to add these chipboard pieces. These are from a Mombi Chips set. So I think I picked these up at Michael's several years ago. So I'm using some of the black and gold flourishes and then that chipboard square that says "You were meant to shine," which I thought was appropriate for a layout about a theater production. So everything is pretty much done at this point. The only thing I'm going to keep doing is I am going to add some oh, I do add another piece of that wood veneer down above the chipboard piece, and then now I'm going to turn my paper and start drawing some lines for journaling. And as I usually do when I'm drawing lines for the journaling, is I start off drawing a couple of lines, seeing where my journaling is going, and then add more if I need to. And I'm pretty sure in this case I do that as well. So once I finish this, the only thing I'm going to do is add some um, misting. I believe it's in Jenny B Blue. We'll have to watch, but I'm pretty sure it was Jenny B Blue because I wanted to bring that blue out into other parts of my layout besides that one chunk of paper. So before I do that, or while I'm writing my journaling anyway, I do want to say thank you guys so much for joining me here. Please make sure you head on over to Kelly's channel. There will be a link below in the description box. Aha! Jenny B Blue. There will be a link in the description box so you can head on over to her channel. If you could flick me a thumbs up, that would be super great. And that is my layout. Thank you guys once again so much for joining me here today. Bye!